It's Josh from Heavyweights Fitness. I'm going to be coaching my client here through the bench press. There's a ton of different points you can go over. We're going to critique his and go over some of the best points we can. First, I'll demonstrate what we're going to be looking for. You want your head forced back into the bench, obviously your shoulders back, bringing the bar down at eye level, down to your nipple line. Everything latch engaged, feet driven into the ground. Seeing a slight arching back. Notice it here, not demonstrated. My client here to demonstrate this as well. Bring the bar at eye level. You notice here he has his feet driven into the ground. He's got a slight arch here in the back. Perfect. We started off bringing it from eye level down to the chest where everything is tight and engaged. Thus we will be keeping your core tight through the breathing, through the diaphragmatic breathing that we'll be talking about later. And you'll see that you'll be able to transfer the energy all the way up to the whole lift, keeping strong. Hey guys, it's Josh here with Heavyweights. We're going to go over a few cues for the squat. First things first, we're going to be focusing on the ground up. We're doing the squat. Obviously, we want to have a reasonable distance between your feet here, probably shoulder width apart. Keep your feet locked into the ground, gripped in, almost like with your hands, grip them into the ground. You're going to have your knees when they're bending down, not coming above or in front of your toes. They're going to be straight, neutral posture, spine, everything neutral, core locked tight. And then when we have the bar on our back, we're going to make sure we're bringing it down, not on our traps there. We're actually going forward, down, lower. That way we'll have all everything tight, 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 and a neutral grip. I'll demonstrate here in the bar. Breathing at the top of the lift. Got a client here, I'll demonstrate his, see if there's anything wrong, we'll fix it from there. We're going to make sure everything is tight here in the back, looking at his legs, making sure we're spreading here. Now you notice there at the beginning of the lift, the knees buckled in. We're going to focus on having those knees spread the floor, bringing that bar tight across the back, lats engaged, everything tight. Breathe at the top, down, drive up. Excellent, much better. As you see, you spread it out his legs, get a stronger lift for the whole leg. Now the progression of that, if you couldn't get down all the way with the mobility, we would move onto these boxes here, different heights. I'm a little taller, so if I couldn't get a good mobility, I'd work on the way down, touch. Think of it as a scale. You want to put about 50% of your weight onto that and then release. Some people will sit down, have a sit, and then try and get back up. You got to try and keep that neutral spine all the way. Those are a few tips. Thanks for tuning in. Hey guys, Josh from Heavyweights Fitness here. Going to go over a few coaching cues with the conventional deadlift. Now the deadlift, most people think right away, back exercise. It's not. It's a full body exercise. You want to engage everything part of your body. So first, starting from the ground up, we're going to have shoulder width apart grip, gripping the ground with their feet. You notice I'm not wearing shoes here. It's because I want flat feet on this. Get good grip on the ground, feet are engaged, making sure the knees aren't going above your toes again. We're going to squat down, keep our back engaged. Feet hands are going down our side. You don't want to see none of this behind. Hands are going down to your side. And we grab the bar. Notice here, when we approach the bar, we always approach it as close as possible. We want to have wrecked shins by the end of this. You'll see that most people who are deadlifting heavy, they have bruised and battered shins. Walk up close, hip hinge, down, hands go down, grab the bar. This is a good place for you to catch a breath. Core is tight, back engaged. You'll notice that I'm keeping a neutral spine all the way down, and that I'm keeping a stern grip on the bar. I'm almost pulling up. If I have 400 pounds in the bar, 399 pounds of it, I'm pulling up, getting ready to brace everything for that lift. I'll get my client here to show how she's going to do this lift. You notice right from the beginning, as she approaches the bar, she didn't approach it as close as possible. You're going to walk as close as you can to the bar. Shin is just about touching, and we'll go from here. Down. Breathing at the bottom of the lift, probably the best place you'll get a breath. Hip hinge on the way down, all the way up. You notice the back here is a little off as well. We're going to try and hip hinge. And the way we can progress with that is, first off, even starting with a deadlift with a rack pull. So we can set up a rack here, do deads from very minimal movement with our hips. We can progress down to these mats. You can set up upwards of 6, 7 mats, starting here, working your way down. For her, we would probably start with a couple of mats where the hip mobility is a little different, and we can progress farther with that. Thanks, guys. I'm tuning in to Josh. Hey guys, Josh from Heavyweights Fitness here. Going to go over a few coaching cues with the conventional deadlift. Now the deadlift, most people think right away, back exercise. It's not. It's a full body exercise. You want to engage everything part of your body. So first, starting from the ground up, we're going to have shoulder width apart grip, gripping the ground with our feet. You notice I'm not wearing shoes here. It's because I want flat feet on this. Get good grip on the ground, feet are engaged, making sure the knees aren't going above your toes again. We're going to squat down, keep our back engaged. Feet are, hands are going down our side. You don't want to see none of this behind. Hands are going down to your side. And we grab the bar. Notice here, when we approach the bar, we always approach it as close as possible. We want to have wrecked shins by the end of this. You'll see that most people who are deadlifting heavy, they have bruised and battered shins. Walk up close, hip hinge, down, hands go down, grab the bar. This is a good place for you to catch a breath. Core is tight, back engaged. You'll notice that I'm keeping a neutral spine all the way down, and that I'm keeping a stern grip on the bar. I'm almost pulling up. If I have 400 pounds in the bar, 399 pounds of it, I'm pulling up, getting ready to brace everything for that lift. I'll get my client here to show how she's going to do this lift. You notice right from the beginning, as she approached the bar, she didn't even approach it as close as possible. You're going to walk as close as you can to the bar. Shin is just about touching, and we'll go from here. Down. Breathing at the bottom of the lift, probably the best place you'll get a breath. Hip hinge on the way down, all the way up. You notice the back here is a little off as well. We're going to try and hip hinge. And the way we can progress with that is, first off, even starting with a deadlift with a rack pull. So we can set up a rack here, do deads from very minimal movement with our hips. We can progress down to these mats. You can set up upwards of 6, 7 mats, starting here, working your way down. For her, we would probably start with a couple of mats where the hip mobility is a little different, and we can progress farther with that. Thanks, guys. I'm tuning in to Josh.
Let's go.
Hey guys, it's Josh from Heavyweights Fitness here. Just going to go over a few diaphragmatic breathing. It's a huge thing with training. Not many people know about it. The proper breathing techniques. I mean, most people just go straight to the complex movements, squats, deadlifts, bench press, and oh yeah, I know how to breathe like that. It actually starts right from the basics, even at the ground. So first, we're just going to go over a few basics here. I'm going to get my client here, Pete, stand up tall, good posture, and just go through a couple bad breaths to show from the chest. Notice how his shoulders go up, chest is going up. It just doesn't look like a good breathing method. What we want is diaphragmatic breathing. So what we're going to do is get you to breathe, push against my stomach, into your nose, out through your mouth. Now you notice here your stomach is going in and out. That's the actual proper diaphragmatic breathing. That's what we want to see. If you wasn't doing that properly, some clients might not even get that concept. What we can do here is wrap around a band. Keeping it tight. And then get my client here to breathe against the tension of the band. Notice here it's going out and in. The body is a three-dimensional unit. We want to see all the expansions going from the back, the sides, the front. The core is not just your abs, it's everything around. Excellent beat. From here, we can actually go down to the ground, add some more chaos to the environment. Neutral spine, everything on the ground, feet together, legs on a nice bend. When we're going to get here, just breathe up against my hand. Breathing into the nose, out through the mouth. As you see, it goes up and down, up and down. Now this time at the top, breathe down, let it all gear out, keep the core tight. That way we can add some chaos to the environment. We'll lift up the legs at a 90, bracing the core. We can then raise our arms, adding some more chaos in the environment. We can progress when he gets this down even better. We'll keep everything tight from the sides, the top, sides, back. Everything is good. Excellent. Up here we can progress even further, having more chaos. Here we get you to grab this. Lats now are engaged, everything's engaged. Pull a little bit of resistance. Now he really has to work to keep that core engaged, keeping that diaphragmatic breathing perfect. Notice the stomach is barely going up and down. That's because his core is tight. This here is just the start. After this, you can progress more and more, moving into the more complex movements like squats, deadlifts, and etc. Thanks again for tuning in, guys. Josh.
Good job.
Hey guys, it's Josh with Heavyweights Fitness again. This time we're going to be going over some mobility drills for our athletes, because this is the first stuff that you want to be able to do for that proper mobility through all the complex things like squats, deadlifts, etc. I'll give us a first introduction to it. We're going to be going down into what's called a high lunge. The high lunge, first starting off, take a deep first step, get down, make sure the knee doesn't touch, everything's braced, good neutral spine. Second one we're going to do, high lunge up, thoracic rotations, and last but not least, once again, high lunge up, and entering the foam we call this one. What I'll do is I'll get my client here, John, demonstrate some of these, and I'll help him go through it. First go down into the high lunge position, making sure that knee doesn't touch again, everything's engaged, good, neutral spine. We're going to keep our breathing here so we own the position. The position will be owned. I'm going to get you to engage your glute so your hip flexors engage. We'll drop the knee now, grab your glute, and you should feel the hip flexor here engage. We can do a slight movement forward just to get an extra stretch. I don't want to see anyone moving their body forward or back. That's not going to get a proper stretch there. From now, we'll move into the high lunge and put our hands down, position. We'll do our thoracic rotations. He'll take his left arm now and move it up, following with his hand. Excellent. Now in this position, this is where we'll catch a breath. I'll get my client to take a few breaths there, into the nose, out through the mouth, grabbing the stomach here, getting the three-dimensional breathing, making sure he's really getting that so he'll own the position. Back down. We'll move into another one here where he'll move to the other side, entering the foam, using his right arm, enter the foam position. That way he'll move up, following again at the top of the lift to own the position. I'll give my client to take a few breaths, belly breathing, three-dimensional. Back down to the normal starting position, and we'll exit there from here. this is just a few things you can use from your mobility to help you really strengthen up all of your complex exercises, such as deadlifts, squats, etc. Hey guys, Josh with Heavyweights again. This time we're going to be going over the sprint. First thing we're going to be looking at is most time we'll just get the athlete to start from the push-up position. That way we have to get, right from the start, a positive shin angle. That's what we want from the sprint. Keep it 45 degree all the way through. Fast arms with going with our legs, and then finish when we get the pylon set up here. We'll go into a decelerator pose for the sprint. There are two steps as well to this. There's the acceleration and then the deceleration. I'll demonstrate first off the acceleration. From the push-up position, we're forced when we go into the sprint, automatically, positive shin angle. Ending down at the decelerated point, past the pylons, we're going down to a lunge. We're just trying to keep our feet from that fast position, slower down, and then we'll end up finishing at the athletic pose of the deceleration here. I'll get John to demonstrate as well, to see if we can get any cues. Picks it up. Forcing the athlete in the push-up position, telling them to sprint from here, will force them into that positive sprint angle. Push up from here, go. The decelerated pose here, perfect finish. That way he'll actually calm himself from any injury, stuttering on the knee, stuff like that. Perfect, healthy joints. That's the sprint. Thanks guys for tuning in. Josh.